Teddy Atlas names the 5 greatest boxing champions he's ever seen. Teddy Atlas has trained world champions. He's been in the corner when careers ended and legends were born. He learned the sport from Cus D'Amato, the same man who shaped a teenage Mike Tyson into a wrecking machine. When Teddy Atlas talks about boxing, you don't debate him, you listen. So when someone asked him point blank, "Teddy, who are the 5 greatest champions you've ever seen with your own eyes?" he didn't hesitate, he didn't hedge. He went straight down the list, and every name came with a reason, a story, and an argument that cuts right through the noise of the internet era. This is that list. Before we get into it, a quick note. This isn't a statistical ranking. This isn't a debate show format. This is one man's unfiltered judgment, shaped by decades on the gym floor, in the corner, and ringside at some of the biggest fights of the last 50 years. Agree with him or not? By the end of this, you'll understand why he sees the sport the way he does. Let's go. Number 5, Roberto Duran. Now, some people will say Duran shouldn't be this low, and those people have a point. But the fact that there are 4 fighters, Atlas ranks above him, tells you everything about the level of this list. Duran wasn't just a great fighter, he was a force of nature. Teddy Atlas has said it clearly. Duran brought something into the ring that you couldn't coach, couldn't manufacture, and couldn't game plan against. Pure, compressed aggression, fused with boxing intelligence that most fighters never develop. His hands of stone weren't just about power. They were about certainty. Every punch Duran threw, he meant it. There was no hesitation, no doubt. He walked through punishment that would have stopped other men, and he kept coming. Not recklessly, but with a plan. Atlas points to the way Duran controlled distance and cut off the ring as something generational, the kind of footwork and body positioning that turned every square foot of the canvas into a trap. The 1980 performance against Sugar Ray Leonard in Montreal. Atlas considers that one of the most complete championship performances he's ever witnessed. Duran didn't just beat Leonard that night, he imposed his will on a brilliant defensive boxer and broke him mentally. That's the thing about Duran that stays with Teddy. He could hurt your spirit before he hurt your body. Number 4, the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. Teddy Atlas grew up hearing about Louis. Then he studied him, and studying Joe. Louis changes your understanding of what boxing can be. Atlas has talked at length about Louis's combination of physical gifts and technical discipline, and the way he made that combination look effortless. The jab, the way he set up the right hand, the relentless pressure that never felt frantic. It felt inevitable. Louis was heavyweight champion for nearly 12 years. He made 25 title defenses. In an era with no mandatory rest periods, no alphabet belt splits, no easy paths through weak mandatory challengers, just the best fighting the best. But what Teddy always comes back to with Louis isn't the statistics, it's the meaning of the performances. The 1938 rematch with Max Schmeling was over in 1 round, 2 minutes and 4 seconds. Atlas has described that fight as the most concentrated display of focused violence and purposeful execution he's ever analyzed on film. Louis didn't just knock Schmeling out. He systematically dismantled him with a level of emotional control under enormous pressure that Atlas finds staggering. There were outside forces weighing on that fight, the weight of a nation, the politics of the moment. And Louis absorbed all of it, stepped through the ropes, and was perfect. That kind of mental clarity in the arena that matters most, That's what puts Joe Louis at number 4 on Teddy Atlas's list. Number 3. Sugar Ray Robinson. There is a reason that pound-for-pound debates in boxing always start with this name. Always. Going back decades. Teddy Atlas isn't telling you anything new when he puts Robinson here, but the way he explains it makes you see Robinson differently. Atlas doesn't talk about Robinson the way fans talk about him, like he was elegant, artistic, beautiful to watch. All of that is true, but Atlas talks about the ruthlessness underneath the grace. Robinson wasn't a boxer who could fight. He was a fighter who could box. That distinction matters. It means that when the moment demanded violence, when the distance collapsed and a less complete fighter would have survived on guts alone, Robinson answered. He punched with the authority of a puncher and moved with the precision of a pure boxer. The LaMotta fights tell the whole story. 6 times those two men shared a ring. LaMotta, the Bronx Bull, one of the most durable fighters in history, beat Robinson once. Robinson won the other 5. And in their final meeting, Robinson delivered a beating so thorough and relentless that the referee had to stop it because LaMotta was too proud to go down. Teddy Atlas talks about Robinson's ring IQ in reverent terms, not just the ability to see punches coming. Anyone at that level has fast reflexes, but the ability to understand the story of the fight as it was unfolding and adjust the narrative in real time. Robinson always knew what the fight was about, and he always had an answer. At his best, across multiple weight classes, over more than 2 decades, Sugar Ray Robinson is, in Teddy Atlas's view, the most complete fighter who ever lived. 3rd on this list, but only because of what comes next. Number 2, Muhammad Ali. Now, some of you already have a problem with Ali being 2nd on any list, and that's a legitimate argument, but hear Teddy out, because his reasoning isn't a slight against Ali. It's a testament to the single fighter above him. Teddy Atlas has spoken about Ali with something close to awe, not just as a fighter, as a phenomenon. A man who redefined what a heavyweight could be, what a champion could mean outside the ring, and what it looked like to perform under the kind of pressure that would shatter most human beings. The athleticism first. Ali moved at heavyweight like nobody before or since. The hand speed, the footwork, the reflexes. Against George Foreman in Kinshasa, George Foreman who was destroying everyone, Ali took everything Foreman had and turned it into rope-a-dope, into one of the greatest strategic gambits in sports history. But what puts Ali at number 2 for Teddy Atlas isn't what Ali did in the ring. It's what Ali did before the bell rang. Atlas has made the argument, and it's a compelling one, that Ali won most of his biggest fights psychologically before the first punch was thrown. He got inside Liston's head. He destabilized Foreman. He made opponents fight his fight because they came in already emotionally compromised. That's a dimension of championship-level boxing that almost no one discusses, and Teddy Atlas understands it at a level most analysts don't, because he was trained by the man who created psychological preparation as a fighting discipline. Cus D'Amato. And that brings us to the fighter at number 1. Wait, stay with us, because if your instinct right now is to argue, Teddy Atlas has already heard your argument, and he's thought about it longer and harder than you have. Sugar Ray Leonard at number 1. Here is Teddy's case, and it is airtight. Leonard fought in an era, the late 1970s and 1980s, that produced what is now widely considered the greatest collection of elite fighters ever assembled in the same weight classes at the same time. Not one or two generational talents. 4. Duran, Hearns, Hagler, Leonard, the four kings. Roberto Duran, who we already talked about. Thomas the Hitman. Hearns, a physical marvel with the longest reach in welterweight history and a right hand that ended careers. Marvelous Marvin Hagler, arguably the greatest middleweight of all time, unbeaten for 11 years. Sugar Ray Leonard beat all three of them. Now, debates about judging, close cards, controversial decisions. Yes, Teddy acknowledges all of it. But the fact that Leonard was in those fights, at that level, winning, is the argument. What Teddy Atlas points to, and this is the part that separates his analysis from the highlight reel version, is Leonard's adaptability. Every elite fighter has a style. Duran was going to swarm you. Hearns was going to try to land the right hand. Hagler was going to cut you off and make it a war. These were known quantities. Leonard couldn't just be Leonard. He had to be whatever the fight required. Against Duran in the rematch, Leonard clowned him, psychologically unraveled him with showmanship and movement until Duran said no mass. Against Hearns, when he was getting dominated and needed a finish, Leonard turned into a puncher. Against Hagler, facing a bigger, stronger, longer reigning champion, Leonard fought the perfect 36-minute chess match of his life. Teddy Atlas calls that adaptability the rarest quality in boxing, the ability to feel what a fight requires in the moment, not what your game plan said, not what your corner is screaming, and become that fighter, on demand, under pressure, with everything on the line. For Teddy, Leonard had that gift more completely than anyone he's ever seen. That's why he's number one. So there it is, Teddy Atlas's 5 greatest boxing champions he's ever seen. Number 5, Roberto Duran, the soul of a fighter made physical. Number 4, Joe Louis, perfection under the weight of history. Number 3, Sugar Ray Robinson, the most complete fighter who ever lived. Number 2, Muhammad Ali, the greatest psychological champion the sport has ever produced. And number 1, Sugar Ray Leonard, the master of becoming whatever the moment required. You may not agree with this list. You may put Ali first. You may have Hagler. You may wonder where Willie Pep is, or Henry Armstrong, or Archie Moore. That's the point. That's what the sport gives us. These arguments that never fully resolve, because greatness isn't a fixed thing. It shifts based on the lens you use, the era you value, the qualities you believe matter most. But if you're going to disagree with Teddy Atlas, do it with respect, because he was there. He saw these men. He understands what it costs to be that good. And that knowledge isn't something you can get from a highlight reel. If you want to go deeper on any of these fighters, we've got full breakdowns on every name on this list. Drop a comment telling us which one you want first. And if you think Teddy got it wrong, tell us who you'd put at number 1. Subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.